we're going to give it a moment or two. Good morning, everybody. Hello. My name is Patty Loessberg, and I'm here with Robert Kelen. And we're just going to wait a couple of minutes to see if we have some late people coming in. I mean, we're pretty much at the top of the hour. I am on Pacific Coast time, so it's 8 a.m. for myself. Robert is in the Central Time Zone, so it's 10. And if you're on the East Coast, it would be 11. So let's give it a couple more minutes to see who else might join us, and then we'll get going here today. Looking forward to having some great conversation. Anything else to say, Robert?
You did it great, Patty.
Oh, Robert, you had me at hello. Okay, we could do a little off-topic. What movie is that from? You had me at hello. Do you remember?
I don't.
Wasn't it the one with Tom Cruise and he plays a sports agent?
Maybe.
That's going to be some good food for thought.
Good trivia for everyone.
Good trivia, yeah.
Jerry Maguire is what you're thinking of.
Jerry Maguire, that's it. I'm going to Google that real fast as we're waiting for, I see a couple more people coming in as we speak. And Robert, will you also monitor the chat for any questions that may come in, and we can address them if it seems to be pertinent right at the time, or if not, we can wait till the end.
Okay.
All right. We're going to
Once
give
you're
it.
done Googling, I think we can start.
Yeah, hang on. You had me at hello movie. The Jerry Maguire movie. I was right. Actually, you got the movie. I got the right actor. All right. I think we're going to give it, let's call it 2 more minutes. What do you say, Robert?
I think we should probably get going sooner than that, Patty.
You think so? Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. And today we are going to be discussing how Aleran's Express Customer Portals for Infor are fast and easy and super important for your businesses to accelerate their business and to help your customers self-service. So without further ado, this is who you're dealing with today. I'm Patty Loessberg, and this is Robert Kelen. We're both in strategic partnerships here at Aleran Software. What we're going to be covering today is the state of manufacturing. So before we kind of go do a deep dive into the customer portals, let's first talk about where we are actually in the state of manufacturing, on how digitizing is important. However, you cannot lose the human touch, because that is still very important. Then Robert's going to give us a real-time Aleran Express Customer Portal for Infor. Then we're going to come back and talk about what are some use cases, who we have seen really be able to leverage customer service, self-service portals. And then we're going to do a little Q&A, and then how we can possibly help. So without further ado, let's talk about what is actually going on. And you guys could probably tell us more than we can tell you, but we do have some data that we'd like to share. And this is from our Built to Sell report that Aleran Software we conducted late last year. And we queried over about 200 manufacturing professionals to find out some different information. And what we find that the whole quoting to sell process is actually causing a lot of problems and challenges for manufacturers. In fact, 86% of manufacturers say that it has caused them to have lost deals. And as much as 15% revenue leakage, which is probably even more significant, because if you think about it, that's quite a bit of money, right, Robert? On $50 million, Robert, how much money is 15% leakage? Come on, let's see how well you are at math. It
adds up to a big number.
It adds up to a big number. Well, 10% would be 5 million. So go from there. It looks probably maybe like what, $7.5 million, I think. I wasn't a math major, communications. But it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of money that's kind of going down the drain, that really unnecessarily, that can be with some quick fixes. Some more information from the built a sell report. So all of this issues are causing manufacturers to rethink on how they need to go to market with their customers and how they need to kind of hop on the bandwagon of being able to go digitally. Really basically means selling and purchasing their products online. Not just for purchasing, but actually the quote to sell process. So right now, many manufacturers are still doing it. Actually, most manufacturers are still doing it pretty much the old school way via email. I can't believe I'm saying old school and email in the same sentence, but back in the day, for me and Robert, old school used to be faxing and using telephones. But they're still actually doing that today, in some respects, especially over the telephone. So it's causing a lot of burden on your customer service teams. But what we found out in this study is that where the future in their thoughts is 48% are looking into self-service portals, aka the Aleran Customer Portal, Express Portal, sales order management platforms, which Aleran has with Connected Commerce, and then combining that with the digital commerce, e-commerce type of capabilities. Robert, if I miss anything, please hop on in and come aboard. So we think it's important, though, not only what is more frustrating in the world when you are buying something and you have a question and you still can't get an answer doing it via the chat or through digital communication. It is still important to be able to hop in and to intersect the human touch with the digital touch. So combining that together, I think, is one of the powers of what we offer at Aleran Software. So how that works, customer portals, if you think about it, it's the basic foundation you need to go to start to hold that whole digitized process. But if that is too much of a leap of faith and too much of an endeavor that you're thinking in your mind is a whole shift in sales strategy for your organization, I think if we really think about it, customer portals are the foundation for addressing the complete business-to-business manufacturing sales cycle. So if you think about it, that's kind of is the bare minimum that you should be doing to allow your customers to engage with you on a self-service level. From there, you can grow it, incorporate. We all know most manufacturers always tell us, but Patty, Robert, we can't, we could never do that. Our products are too complex and our pricing is too complex. Well, actually, they are complex, and we do acknowledge that the pricing and the products can be complex. However, we have solved for that with our connected commerce platform that combines CPQ, which is configure price quote, AI guided selling, product information management, B2B commerce, product information, and the whole end-to-end sales cycle all into one connected commerce platform. When you're ready, that's when you're ready. You may not be ready now, and that's okay. But you can offer a great experience for your customers and relieve your customers and sales service and sales teams on your side just by adding a very chimp simple customer portal. Robert, you love it when I say chimp simple. I can tell you, right, what we're talking about. So let's talk about what are some of the benefits of just starting with the Aleran Customer Express Portal. You're going to have a dashboard overview, and Robert's going to go into this and do a little show and tell, which is going to do a much better job than me just talking about it. But let me just talk about really quickly. You're going to have the ability for order history. You're going to be able to see your quotes and invoices, an address book. You're going to see your purchase product summary. And Robert, are we allowed to talk about our new special secret sauce yet?
Yes.
You know one. We are. Go ahead. Yeah. Are you going to talk about
the ability to pay invoices? Is that what you meant?
Yes, that's the secret sauce. You'll be able.
We'll get to that one at the demo.
Okay. God, he's going to keep you waiting. We don't want to kiss and tell, I guess, right off the bat. And Robert, a new study just came out from. Gosh, let me look. I do have it all teed up here from the Institute for Supply Management that actually supports exactly what we're trying to do with our customer portal. And that is that most companies are seeing great expansion in their manufacturing. However, where they're not expanding is on the human resource side with their customer service and sales teams. They just don't have the bandwidth to do it. So really, I love the line, and it's from another movie, something's got to give here, right? What is going to give? What's going to help out these customer service sales team and get a good customer experience? And I believe we're going to find out here in a minute with our Customer Express Portal. So now I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to let Robert take over and walk us through the Aleran Customer Service Portal.
Okay, thank you, Patty. Can you see my screen?
I can indeed.
Okay, so I'm going to log in now as a customer coming to the manufacturer's.
First of all, let me stop you just for one moment, Robert.
Okay.
Do they just get one customer portal, or can they have one to how many ever customers they want?
Well, in the Express Portal example, it's a standard interface, but every customer gets their own experience based on their sales history, their data, their products.
So I'm ABC Manufacturing, and I've got 5,000 customers. Can each one of those customers have their own portal?
Every one of them will be able to log in. We do not license our software based on users or transaction volume. It's just a simple subscription fee. So you can enable as many customers to access it as you'd like.
Get out of town. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay, so I've logged in now, and what the default experience when I log in is this simple dashboard that shows me some of my recent purchase history and kind of the status of my orders and quotes broken down. If I had categories set up here, you'd see the distribution in these pie charts. In this very simple example, we don't have the categories set up, but you see it kind of an at a glance view. But this could be any landing experience that you want for your customers. It could be if you've got a holiday hours, if you've got some sort of service issues to report, or whatever you want to communicate, you can have that experience here. So again, this is just a simple dashboard to kind of get it at a glance, but the real functionality that comes in is right here under my initials. You can see this is the dashboard. The most common question we get is, and customers come to us for, is their customers calling and saying, where's my order? What's the status of this shipment? What's my tracking number? Things like that. So any of that is available right here in the order history. Again, this is a simple example. It's just I have 3 orders in the system. But the beauty of the Express Portal generally is that everything you see here is coming directly from the ERP. So once the connection to the ERP is established, you can really get this up and live in an afternoon, because it just pulls over the relevant information it needs: orders, invoices, quotes, product information, things like that. There's nothing to set up in Aleran except access for your customers, which is something you can do in bulk from the customer and contact data, or if you have it in a separate system, like a marketing system of who you'd want this to be, or a CRM, you can bulk load it from there and grant access. And then what the customer sees is their order history, their invoices, their quotes, and it's all based on the products that are appropriate to them. So if I wanted to see, I can just click, and I can click into the details. This particular order shows as open because I can see these statuses all at a glance here. If I want to know the tracking information, I can click on the details of this one that shows shipped, and here it is, shipment tracking information right here. And if any of these things are things I regularly order, I have just one-click access to reorder from here. I can update the quantities. If this was something I needed maybe fewer of this time, I could just say 50. If everything remained the same, I could keep it. Otherwise, I can individually deselect line items. So if I really just wanted 50 more support bars, just update the quantity, one click to reorder. It'll go through the order process and get pushed directly into my Infor ERP from here. So that's order history. If I'm working on a quote with my sales rep, as soon as the rep updated the quote in the ERP, I would get an alert because it would sync to my portal here, and I could see my quote history here, my open quotes and closed quotes. You can see this one's requested. It has not been approved yet, so there's not not much I can do to it, but it is a perfect example of kind of supporting this multi-channel experience. So if I thought, oh my God, this is a big order, I deserve a bigger discount, I could call or email my rep. The rep could update the information in the ERP. As soon as they did that, I would get an alert pointing me back to the portal to review my quote. And if it were an example of one that was already accepted, like this one, so let's just say that process happened, I could click to approve it and then convert it to a sales order right here, all self-service. So this is the kind of thing I can do, nights and weekends, whatever the hour is. That's the beauty of enabling this customer self-service. You're not dependent on open hours of your business, and you're not dependent on sort of burdening the sales or customer service team with these kinds of calls, which is something we hear from a lot of customers, is that they want their sales and service teams to be doing higher value work than just answering the question, where's my order? So that's orders and quotes. The last thing I wanted, well, there's a couple more things. Invoices, again, these are pulled directly from the ERP. So if I want to, maybe I lost the invoice, I can see what was on it. I can print a copy of it directly from here. And as Patty alluded to earlier, the next release that's coming later this summer, there'll be a button just to pay this invoice if it were open, or pay multiple invoices. So that's coming in a couple months later this summer. So that's that.
How does that work exactly, Robert? We're tied into a payment gateway. Is that
yeah, whatever the gateway that the customer has, we can support that. And if they don't already have one, we typically work with Stripe and authorize.net, and we're looking at adding others all the time. So that's we work with the customer as part of the implementation to enable that.
But they have like like any of the others, the major ones. Okay, it doesn't matter who
Yes.
it is. We can.
Yes, eBiz charge, I think you were about to say,
Yes,
which I know is big in the Infor world. Yes, we're working on supporting that as well.
Yeah, because I know eBiz charges now on the Infor marketplace, as is Aleran. So
yes. And I guess one of the last things I wanted to show you here, this is all the ship tos that I have set up in the system. This, again, you can enable your customers to update their address book here, and that can be pushed back to their ERP if they'd like. So it makes it very easy to do. Really, the goal with Express Portal is to make it so any of the things that you would typically have called a sales or customer service rep for, now you as a customer, you can do yourself. So the last thing I'll show you here, something we call shopping lists. So if there were things that you regularly needed to reorder, I have a shopping list here called wares and spares. So if these were the kinds of things that I regularly ordered, I can easily, similar to the reorder functionality under order history, I can select the quantities I want and place an order directly from here.
now, Robert, how does say my sales rep, if I did need him to engage with me, does he have access to my customer portal as well?
Well, he could access the portal, or he or she are typically updating things directly in the ERP, which is what this information is being drawn from.
So the information is flowing back and forth from the ERP to Aleran, and it's all bi-directional.
Exactly.
And so the main source of truth really is still the ERP.
Exactly.
Gotcha. All right.
And as Patty mentioned earlier, this is kind of the nucleus of a much larger platform called Connected Commerce, which supports things like order management, configure to quote, configure to order, a more robust product information management system, so you can augment what's in the ERP. But this is just sort of the basic enabling the customer self-service functionality. Although I will say, even within the Express portal, we have access to this portal assistant. So if, for example, you didn't remember when the last time you ordered support bars was, or which order that was on, or what the status of a shipment was, the AI that's built in here has access to all the product information that's relevant to you as a customer and all of your quote, order, and sales history.
All right. It's been very helpful.
So I think with that, Patty, I'll turn it back to you, because that's pretty much the core functionality I wanted to show.
Thank you, Robert, for that great demo. We already took a look. So now let's talk about, Robert, and you can chime in anytime you want. So it's not just a monotone of Patty talking. What are some good use cases, who we are a good fit for? As Robert has alluded to, that proverbial saying, where's my order? Where's my stuff? If you have a core need of self-service and visibility for your customers, this is for you. It solves sales and service teams drowning in that proverbial question: where's my order? What, has it shipped yet? Can you resend that invoice? We should probably do a little fun little survey of how many times the CSR team hears that in a day. If you need a faster quote to order speed, you need to shorten that cycle, and we have proof that shows you shorten the cycle, you actually get the sale. What is it that's saying? Sales, what kills all deals? Slowness, right? Time kills all deals. So we know that quotes get stuck in inboxes. The CSR team sometimes is swamped with over 500 emails at a time. Lost deals from slow follow-ups on both sides, right? You start playing that email chase game, tag you're it, and sales stuck in order processing. If you need a fast digital front door, really, what does that mean? That means you need to get something up and running quick, but you don't want to have to spend a lot of money on IT or the time and the effort. So in fact, when Robert and I were first brainstorming on our customer portals, we came up with a great name, and it was called the 10-minute portal. But we got kind of X'd out by legal because they said, well, what if it actually takes 12 minutes? Okay, goodness, my goodness. We don't want to be prove that we're wrong, but really in an afternoon, you probably could be up and running very quickly. It's not going to require a lot of assistance from IT, nor a lot of lengthy time. It's not going to take them away from kind of really maybe some more pivotal, larger initiatives that they are probably working on. So go fast. It's out of the box ready, minimal IT, and self-service. So that's all the things that it can bring you. So are you ready to integrate with the Infor out of the box, fast, affordable, minimal IT? Robert shakes his head. So after Aleran, what you will experience is automated sales order entry, web to ERP, back into the ERP, more accurate, faster quotes and pricing. You can actually complete your tax compliance, or you'll see it. This is in our connected commerce platform, obviously, but you will see the taxes on everything will be applied as you're looking at your invoices or your order statuses in your Express portal. And we have proof that shows the shorter time to close the sale, and we can help you increase that average order. So I think we made this, it's not quite a record. This is a 22-minute presentation. I did it in 21 minutes not too long ago, but that shows to illustrate just how quickly the Express portal is to set up, implement, and to get your customers going. And like I was really pulling out of Robert, whether you've got one customer or 5,000 customers, it's one price. And trust me, it's about 5 to 7 Starbucks a day. This will cost your team. This is a very low cost, high return on investment for your company to implement today, honestly. Here's my information, Robert's information. And if you're interested in learning more and a complimentary assessment, just ask us, reach out. We can walk you through it. Robert will do a more detailed and show you how you too can get your customers up and running. And remember, it is the foundation. It's the bare minimum you should be doing today. Think of your experience with Amazon. Where would you be if you had to keep calling them up all day long? And where is that toaster? Where are your vitamins? All that stuff you order off of Amazon. Imagine if they had to answer those calls or emails. Where would they be? Out of business. So accelerate and automate and get your customers up and running today to make it easier for your sales teams, because they're not growing. They need to help you grow your business. They don't need to help you answer phone calls and where's my order. Anything else, Robert?
Well, we did get one question in the chat, so I wanted to address that directly. The question was, do you have an e-commerce extension to the portal? And as you kind of laid out the whole platform originally, there are definitely modules if you want to add configure the kind of the CPQ, like we call it sales CPQ. It's not meant to take the place of Infor CPQ, which is much more engineering oriented and down to the bill of materials level. But if you wanted to add kind of our lightweight configure to quote, configure to order capabilities, that's one of the things you can add. Commerce is definitely another. Sales order management is another. So we have a full, we showed today the customer portal experience, but there's a full like internal experience that you can add to this if you want to manage orders and quotes outside of the ERP in our, what I like to call our sales console. You as a salesperson or a support person can see all of the orders, all of the quotes just for your customers. You can even see carts, which is really just like an unrealized quote or an unrealized order. So anything that's in process by any of your customers. So there's definitely a lot you can add on to this from the full connected commerce platform. This is a great starting point because you, as Patty said, you can get it going in an afternoon and it kind of forms the nucleus and the foundation on which you can add those other capabilities. So yes, definitely commerce is a big piece of that.
And I found a new way to explain my octopus. If you look at it, the octopus's head is the foundation. That's the customer portals. And then we can add in, to Robert's point, all those other elements that you could possibly want to help connect your customers to you. And whether it's e-commerce, CPQ, sales CPQ, or even Infor's heavy lifted engineering CPQ, product information, customer service, all those things tied together. So the foundation is our Octoboost head, and then we can connect all those things. But the bare minimum, let's get the customers going just with self-service portals. All right. Any other questions, Robert?
Well, before I get to that, I have one point to add to what you just said, which is really one of the unique things about Aleran's commerce is that it's designed for manufacturing B2B selling. So it handles the complexities of that really well. So whether that's complex products, complex pricing, or complex selling in terms of multiple layers and dealers and distributors, it's designed to accommodate all of that in ways that some more B2C oriented commerce platforms can't. So as an example, we have one customer that has somewhat complex products, but they have really complex pricing because they have negotiated pricing for every one of their customers. So we're able to pull all of that from the ERP and present it in a way so that every customer gets exactly their defined product set and their defined pricing specific to them. So with that, the other question we got was about AI. When you talk about AI, how does it work? Is it shared broadly with other Aleran customers? The answer to that is it is segregated just based on your it's like a single tenant database. So it's trained based on the understanding of what products are and what sales orders are and all of that. But then in terms of questions that you're asking it based on order history or product data, that is segregated. So it's just trained on your particular data as a manufacturer.
Very good. Good points to good questions and answers to, because that is a differentiator, right? Between our commerce, our e-com, and something like a Shopify is we were built for complex pricing and products, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
So that's all the questions I see. If there are more afterwards, if you guys think of things later, you know where to contact Patty and me. And if you forget those addresses that Patty's showing on the screen, sales@aleran.com is always a good fallback.
Okay, he was a little muffled there, but I think you got the idea. You can reach us at our emails or obviously sales@Aleran, but we're here for you. And I'm going to bet they can get started in 12 minutes. At least an afternoon. All right. You all go have a really nice day and enjoy today. Thank you.
So
Bye-bye.